What I'm working on here today is a carbureted Harley-Davidson. It has originally a vacuum valve for the fuel petcock, and it was replaced at one time with a standard one, and the vacuum line was capped off. And what had happened is this was left on, and the float was a little bit of a jar in the carburetor, and it filled the crankcase up with fuel, contaminating the oil. Went and purchased a new fuel valve here. So this petcock will be replaced here. There is a banjo nut here that we're going to take off, as well as the fuel. I had already drained the fuel from the fuel tank. Okay, obviously this was replaced before, since it's not the original. This has a worm clamp on it. If it is your original one, many times they have a cinch clamp on there that you'll have to take a side cutters and break off. So I'm going to go and disconnect the fuel line here. I believe this is a 1-inch wrench that you would need. I'm just going to take and use a adjustable here and go ahead and loosen this up. Now with that removed, we'll go and pull our little filter out here, little screen, make sure that's all clean. Before we put it back, there's a little bit of residue on there, we'll clean that up. Since the new vacuum valve here did not have the reserve tube, I took it from this old one here and determined that is, if you're looking at it, it's on the right side, and it just simply fits in there. Just tap that down in there, and we'll put the screen on there and reinstall it. Okay, on the back side of the carburetor here, there was a plug over the vacuum line, so I put a vacuum hose on there, 1 foot long, to go on the other side over there. Okay, the gasket that was in there is a little sketchy. I think a piece broke off, somehow got into the carburetor float and held it open. We'll put our screen back up in there. This banjo nut here, I got a new gasket in there. It has reverse threads on one side. Just started on there. We're going to go and put it up into here and tighten that up, and it'll tighten on here. Okay, with this banjo nut here, it's reverse threads on one side, and we got a new gasket in there. We'll take and we'll put our vacuum line on there, and we'll just keep snugging this up. And we'll take our wrench here. Okay, now that I got that tightened up, we'll attach our fuel line here. And tighten that up. Okay, next I'm going to take and fill it up with some fuel and double check the leak, if it's leaking over there, before I go any further. Okay, everything looks good there. I'll go and put it together on the other side. Okay, these CV carburetors here, they have a rubber boot that goes around the intake there, and it has no clamp on it. And then these bolts go into the head here, and they have a hole that goes through them to take your vapors and go ahead and burn those. So this just simply goes on here, the air cleaner bolts onto here, and then holds this all together. So I'm just going to go and install these bolts here. Sometimes it helps to keep it all aligned. You just put a couple of these bolts here for snugging these up here. Now we'll take these little bolts out of there. We have these go into the back of the air cleaner. So we'll go and put these on. Take our air cleaner. Those two hoses go in there. There is a gasket that goes on there. Okay, I got those hoses in there. Go on here. Take our bracket. There is an arrow which way it goes. It says down. We'll put these in there. And it is a Torx. Okay, we'll go ahead and put our air box cover on. And we'll go ahead and change the oil since it is contaminated with fuel. And once we do that, then it's ready to rock. Okay, got the oil changed, and then go and fire up.